Okay, mga kaibigan, magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat muli. Ito muli ang inyong BMA Chronicles, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Pasensya na po kayo sapagkat ngayon lang tayo na. Please take note na sana tuwing Biyernes, abangan nyo na po yung BMA Chronicles kahit po late tayo sapagkat ako po'y dumarating pa galing sa aming eklesiya. Ano po, kahit po late tayo, ay pupunta pa rin po ako sa inyo. Ano po? And just to let you know, mga kaibigan, tayo po yung nasa YouTube, You can go to YouTube, Benny M. Abante YouTube channel, because we are in YouTube. You could be able to subscribe to it. At tangkilikin po ninyo, no? Nasa Facebook Live po tayo ng Benny Abante, Benny M. Abante. Nasa FB Live po tayo. At tayo po ay nasa Facebook. Follow me sa facebook.com/Benny Abante. Subscribe po kayo sa YouTube channel po natin, YouTube channel po natin. So therefore, mga kaibigan, ito pong Biblical Friday, nung Monday, pinag-usapan po natin ang epekto ng COVID-19 sa mga bata. Ano po? Marami na ngayong mga LGU ang nagpaparegister na po ng mga bata from 12 years old. Upang pag dumating po yung mga bakuna, ay they can start vaccinating children from 12 years old. Ano po? And why? Well, this Delta variant is, I don't know, ito kinakailangan po mag-ingat tayo po dito. Anyway, at the thing is, when we begin to look at our children today, hindi po natin inaasahan na magiging maganda po ang sitwasyon natin in the next several months. Sabihin natin na new normal. Hindi na po new normal ngayon. Next normal na po. Kaya mas maraming worry ang mga magulang ngayon for their own children. Oo. Kasi ang mga bata are left with their gadgets and locked in their houses, which ano po nangyayari? Later affect their attitudes and their behavior. So, ano pong pwedeng gawin ng mga magulang? To be effective in their parenting. At kung ano po sinasabi ng Bible tungkol dito, mga kaibigan. Kaya, bago lahat, atin munang panoorin ang video ito.
By the end of July, Delta is now in 132 countries, and that list is growing.
Ayan, nakita niyo po ang epekto sa mga bata. Ito pong pandemic na ito, mga kaibigan, na kaya alam niyo, parenting during this COVID-19 pandemic is very, very challenging. Di ba? With parents having to meet various demands simultaneously. Oo. Nakakabahala po. Nakakabahala, mga kaibigan. So, isa pang factor that contributes to their stress is their worry about their child's schooling and behavior. Oo. Yung po bang unang-una, yung behavioral concerns among children and youth. Yung mga tinatawag na hate crimes po ngayon, bullying, disrespect, disobedience to authority, delinquency, and similar hateful behavior are rising. Not only in developed countries like the US, but our country as well. Last June lamang, a primary school in Rwanda violently pushed and severely injured by the student sa kanyang teacher na pregnant. That same month, 20 students were involved in attacking school properties using stones. Ay talagang, nako, iba na talaga panahon ngayon. Ha? Noong April, during our cyberbullying episodes, di ba? Anong pinag-usapan natin? We talk about how the use of the internet on distance learning during the pandemic increased the harmful online behavior such as cyberbullying. At kahit na bago pa yung pandemic, mga kaibigan, atin na nakikita ang decline ng ethical and moral values among our children and our youth. Well, back in 2018, one issue of bullying by a high school taekwondo gold medalist was publicized. He was captured beating another student within the school premises. Of course, he was later dismissed from the school pagkatapos ng thorough investigation. Dismissed lang ba ang kailangan, mga kaibigan? We see in social media and news how minors are being involved in heinous crimes, scandals, riots, and more. Ayon sa study ng moral decline in teens, the application of contextual theology, published in January 2013, they found three main causes of this decline are what? Mass media, peer pressure, and poor family involvement. Mass media, peer pressure, and poor family involvement. Ito po yung main causes ng decline ng morality among our children in the teens. Una po, yung mass media. Well, kinikilala po natin ang kahalagahan ng media ngayon. Okay? We cannot deny the fact that the majority of what we see on television or the internet, has a negative effect on children. Ngayong pandemic na ito, ang mga bata have more time online with no litter or no filters at all restrictions on the internet. Noong araw pa, pinag-uusapan na po yung filter na yan. Pero hindi po nangyayari ang mga kaibigan. Parents have limited access to what their children see, download, or even send online. Pinahabayaan ng mga magulang yan. And they can do what they want to do. Especially cyber sex. Oo. Alam natin, not all television programs are bad. Not all. But most. Nung isang araw lang, ako ay padala ng press release. O bakit? Kasi nauuso na naman ang mga flimsy attire, almost naked, na mga babae sa television. Yung mga tinatawag nating, mga Pilipino pa naman, buti na lang mga Koreano, walang anumang problema dyan. Pero tayo mga Pilipino, grabe, mas grabe tayo kaysa mga Western countries. Pag ginaya natin ng Western countries, mas grabe po tayo, mga kaibigan. TV shows, movies, printed and online newspapers, magazines. Ito, hindi ko alam to. Even games like Dota, Defense of the Ancients, Crossfire, The Punisher, Left 4 Dead, and many more. O dapat, kayong mga magulang, titinan nyo maigi ang pinapanood ng inyong mga anak sa television, sa internet, at anong games ang kanilang nilalaro. Marami po diyang mga very good na mga pwedeng pag-aaralan po ng mga bata, mga educational, mga spiritual. Nakikita ko po yung pinapanood ng mga apo ko sa malaking television. Hindi po nakakawala yan sa magulang nila. Oo, sapagkat talaga namang tinitingnan maigi kung anong pinapanood ng mga bata. At ang mga bata, kapag nasanay po yung manood ng malinis na show, ay hindi na nila magugustuhan ang pangit, mga kaibigan. Of course, alam natin, lumalaki yung mga bata, at lalong na-absorb po ang kanilang pag-iisip. They begin to look at their sexuality. They begin to be curious of what's happening. Kaya maaga pa lang. Sabi nga ng Bible, train up a child in the way he should go. When he gets old, he will not depart from it. Ang sabi po, sa isang study, the average child sees 12,000 violent acts on television annually, including many depictions of murder and rape. More than 1,000 studies confirm that exposure to heavy doses of television violence increases aggressive behavior, particularly sa mga kalalakihan. Other studies link television and newspaper publicity of suicide to an increased suicide risk. Hindi lang yan. Youth culture is characterized not only by sensuality, but also violence. Yan ang mass media. Oo, of course, sa mass media actually, it's not just violence. Mas matindi ang sexuality. Oo, totoo yan. Kasi yan ang main target. Yan ang gustong-gusto ng mga tao na panoorin yung sexuality ng mga babae, things like this, no? Nawawala na yung tinatawag nating family-oriented shows in television. Sapagkat ang iniisip po ng mga television networks ngayon, mga kaibigan, is what? Commercial. Kung paano kikita, kung paano dadami ang mga manunood sa kanila, so anong gagawin nila? They're going to have shows that shows women almost naked, or perhaps very violent shows or television series. Mass media. Kaya mga kaibigan, bantayan niyo mga anak ninyo, ha? Bantayan niyo mga anak ninyo. Kung anong pinapanood po nila. Alright? Ang sabi ni Robert, I think the parental needs to instill the Ephesians 6:1. Totoo yun. And teach them to avoid usage of the devices as cell phones, tablets, and other stuff. Totoo yun. Kinakailangan talaga may limit yan. Okay? Pangalawa, peer pressure. Ito muna yung video na ating makikita ang psychology behind peer pressure.
Take a close look at the 3 lines on the right. Which line is the same size as the one on the left, and how certain are you of your answer? Are you 50% certain, 90, 100%? Well, if you're like most people and you take time to think this through, you'd say line A. If you take a close look, line B and C are clearly too tall, so line A is the obvious choice. But this isn't a video about optical illusions. It's a video about peer pressure. What happens when you clearly know that the answer is C, but everybody else is telling you that they got the answer A? When this test is done in a control group, that is, when there's no peer pressure, almost every single person gets it right. Line A is clearly too short, and line B is clearly too tall. But when you add peer pressure, things get interesting. Now, imagine that you're in a room with 9 other people. You're asked to compare the lines, same as before, and you think, that's easy, it's C. Then person 1 steps forward and announces that his answer is A. Your first response would probably be surprise. How could he have gotten it wrong? The question is so easy. In fact, you might even feel a little superior at this point because you know his answer is wrong and you are right. But as a few more people step forward and say that they got A as well, confidence in your answer begins to erode. As everyone else announces that they got A as well, you'd start wondering if you were the one that got something seriously wrong, as if everyone else saw the trick of the question and you didn't. By the time it's your turn to answer, you might even be embarrassed to say that you got C. So what do you say when it's your turn? Do you say what you believe and go with C? Or go with the group and say line A? When this is done in a laboratory, over 1/3 of people will change their answer to A. The researchers also identified different factors that made it more or less likely that a person would submit to peer pressure. People are more likely to bend to peer pressure when there's a large group of people conforming or when an entire group is unanimous in their decision.
Yan. Totoo yun. Gaya-gaya na lang sila. Di ba? Totoo yan, mga kaibigan. Ano ba ang peer? Pag sinabi nating peer, ito yung mga tao nagkakasama sama-sama in the same social group. Yun po yung peer pressure. Yung influence po ng kanilang mga kasama na kanila nakakasama araw-araw. O, na kahit mag-isa ka lang, may question dyan, mag-isa ka. Tama yung iniisip mo. Pero yung mga iba mga kasama mo, iba iniisip. Anong gagawin mo? Magkikasama ka na lang. Dahil pag hindi ka nang kasama, ano ka? Killjoy ka. Killjoy ka naman eh. KJ ka naman eh. Yun po ang peer pressure. Ha? Although, syempre, hindi naman nangangahulugan na ang peer pressure na yan, mali, ano? Pero, pag sinabing pressure, ang ini-imply po niyan, yung pong impluensya na nakararami sa isa. Yun po yan. Oo, impluensya. Kaya alam nyo, may mga pagkakataon sa ating pag-aaral, ano? Nag-aaral yung mga bata. Kahit na tama yung sagot mo, pero kung yung mga kasama mo dyan, mga kaibigan mo, iba yung sagot nila, kahit mali yun, sasama ka na lang. Kaya mas maganda, huwag tayong magpa-pressure sa grupo. Mag-aral ang mga bata na dapat nilang pag-aralan at alamin nila kung anong tama at mali. Okay. They should never be influenced by what they term as peer pressure. O pangatlo naman, poor family involvement. Alam natin, the family is the smallest unit or institution in society. Of course, it was God that actually created the family. Di ba? Pero ito yung smallest unit ng ating mga lipunan. Oo. Kung saan, ang mga individual dapat nakakaranas ng pag-ibig, ng belongingness, okay? At kung saan nyo nade-develop ang variety of values. Katunayan, sabi nga, pag ating pinag-aralan yung kay Rizal, di ba? Sino ang first teacher po ni Rizal? Sanay niya. Oo. Kayo mga magulang, kayo po ang unang-unang mga teachers ng anak ninyo. Hindi po ang school. Oo. Kung ano natutunan ng mga anak ninyo, sa unang-unang birada ninyo pagtuturo sa kanila, they will bring that to school. Ngayon, pag nasa school na yan, at nakakaroon na ng mga tinatawag na mga kaibigan, nagisimula na yung peer pressure, lalo na nadadagdagan ang problema kapag hindi na-develop ang bata sa tamang paraan in the family. Oh, so, ito yan with poor parental monitoring, clearly linked to negative outcomes in adolescence, such as antisocial behavior, o yung substance use or sexual di ba? Yari ang mga bata dyan. Since the family is the first institution that molds their character, its absence will make them turn to other influences such as media and fear. Kaya nga alam nyo, diyan kailangan ang church. Hindi lang basta-basta church. Ang church na wala silang ibang ginagamit sa pagtuturo, kundi ang Bible. A biblical church. Sapagkat kung hindi na-develop yung bata, abang bata pa siya, doon sa kanyang mga magulang, sa tahanan niya, na dysfunctional, tapos lumaki yung bata niya, nag-high school, nakakilala sa Panginoon yan, naging faithful po yan, ha? Ano nangyayari? Nadidevelop po ang moral values niya sa pamamagitan ng pag-attend sa church, sa pamamagitan ng mga tinatawag nating peer na hindi nagpe-pressure sa kanya. Why? Sapagkat iyon ay pinag-aaralan sa banal na kasulatan. So therefore, biblical parenting tips. Ayan. Ano yung biblical parenting tips? Alam niyo, ang parenting is much more than just a set of do's and don'ts. It's more than just simply providing for their material needs and wants. You can give your children all the gadgets you want to give them. And you begin to think that the children will love you back because you're giving them everything they want. But in reality, that is not the only thing that's needed. Their minds and their hearts must be balanced. Balanced with biblical teaching. Therefore, unang-una, sa ating mga kabataan, we ought to instill biblical truths and standards at an early age. Sabi nga ni Charles Spurgeon, whether we teach young Christians truth or not, the devil will make it sure to teach them error. Andiyan po ang diablo. The devil can use the media and their peers to teach your children the ways of the world if you will not do it first. Kayong mga magulang na godly, kayong mga magulang that believe in the Bible. So, what are the teachings that parents need to instill to their children? Hindi lang po basta magulang, Kasi, terrible, ang dami mga magulang ngayon, talagang wala may utog sa mga bata. Especially sa mga areas na mga may hirap, na naglipa na yung mga bata sa kalye. Pinababayaan lang po ng mga magulang yan. Kinakailangan mo na mga kaibigan, ang mga magulang ay makakilala sa ating Panginoon. They must first know the Lord. And then, they will read the Bible, and then they will fall in love with the Word of God, and then they will bring their children to church. And then we find in the church, it is instilled in them biblical principles. Kaya po, sa aming ecclesia, meron kami tinatawag na Discovery Kids. Ang talagang Discovery Kids na yan, ang tinuturo dyan, puro mga biblical accounts. At sila po yung nag-memorize ng mga scriptures. Imbis na sila ay maglaro sa kalye, at pag-aralan po ang mga mura, kung ano-ano pa mga worldly things sa labas, it's better for them to enroll in Discovery Kids class where they are taught the scriptures, they are taught good songs, and they are taught to memorize Bible verses. Okay. So ano po yung mga teachings dapat? Unang-una, teach children of the love of God and reverential fear. Ang sinabi ko nga, sa BYS celebration, if you don't, they will love the social media. If you don't, they will love everything that is in the world. If you don't, they will seek love from the world and from other people. If you do not teach them the love of God. Yun ang nakalagay sa Deuteronomy 6:5. Ang utos ng Panginoon sa mga magulang, And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might. And you are going to teach them to your children. To your children. Whether they are standing or sitting or lying down or walking, we should teach them. And then, teach children to be responsible. Di ba? As early as they are, as young as they are, teach them to be responsible. Tulad ng alin? Tulad ng alam, hindi lang yung, alam nyo, responsibility will actually deter laziness among children. Why? You can teach them how to do household chores. You can teach them the value of money. You can teach them honoring commitments or promises. You can teach them to always be clean. Oo ha? At an early age, train your children the importance of thinking first before they speak or act. O mag-isip ka muna. Oo. Okay. Ang included dito is facing the consequences of the wrong choices or dealing with failures. O halimbawa, ha? O, may ginawa ang anak mo na alam mo mali. Anong gagawin mo? Palo ka agad? Hindi. Uupuin mo yan, kakausapin mo, anak, yung ginawa mo kanina, palagay mo tama. O, pag alam niya, sasagot niya, sabihin niya mali eh. So pag namin niya mali, bigay mo yung tama. Pag sinabi niya hindi niya alam, ipakita mo kung anong tama. At sabihin mo sa kanya, alam mo anak, bawat maling gagawin natin, may consequence yan. Bawat tama na ginagawa mo, ay merong reward yan. Di ba? So wag lang natin mga kaibigan, papaluin yung mga anak natin na nagkakasala, palo ka agad yan, palo ka agad yan. Pero pag sila gumawa ng mabuti, bigyan mo na reward. Yung aso nga pag tinuturuan mo, sit down. Pag naupo yan, pakainin mo Stand up. Pag stand up yan, bibigyan mo ng konting, di ba? Ang mga bata, in a way, ganun din. You do not only punish them when they do wrong, but you also reward them when they do good. Kaya nga nakalagay sa James 4:7, therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. Pangatlo, teach your children the values of, number 1, respect and humility. Nako, hindi na uso ngayon yung po at opo. Ang mga apo ko, in the morning, paglabas niyan, lalabas ka agad yan. What will you tell Papa? Good morning, Papa. See? They know. You did something wrong. What do you say? Sorry po. It's like this. Alright? Humility. Wag natin lamang na palagi na lang pinapalakpakan natin, ina-upload po natin kapag ang ay, naku, ang anak ko magaling kumanta, naku, anak ko magaling sa math, ako, ang anak ko, hindi po. Let us reward character. Especially the character of humility. Di ba? Oo. Nakalagay po yan sa 1 Peter 5:5. God resisted the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. Pangalawa, obedience. Pagsunod. Obedience. Yan ang problema ng maraming mga kabataan ngayon. Not obeying their parents. Di ba? At ngayon, it is now the parents obeying their children. Baliktad. Di ba? Nakukuha yan kasi sa tinatawag natin child psychology. Kaya ako sinasabi ko sa inyo, kapag, in child psychology, huwag nyo nang paluin ng mga anak nyo, huwag nyo nang, hindi na uso yan, hindi na dapat yan. Ilang tuturo ng gobyerno ngayon. Kurutin mo lang yung bata, magsumbong na yung bata sa DSWD. Kakasuhan ka na ng child abuse. Ba't ganun? Di ba? I mean, it is the duty of the parents to teach their children what is right and what is wrong. It is not the duty of the state. Gusto ko lang sabihin the state does not own our children. Number 1, God owns our children and God gave our children to us to take care of. Hindi ibinigay po ng Diyos ang ating mga anak sa estado. Binigay ng Diyos ang ating mga anak sa kanyang mga magulang. Alright? Obedience. Kapag kayo nag-child psychology, darating ang panahon, it will be your children that will psychologize you. And then what else? You teach them generosity and kindness. Oh, sa ating ecclesia, for example, we teach them to be cheerful givers. Mula sa pagkabata, let them learn how to give more than take. Di ba? Hindi yung palagi, hingi ng hingi. Maraming mga bata kayo, walang ginawa kundi humingi. Pag yan ay natutong humingi ng humingi, ay palagi naiinggit yan pag hindi nakuha. Pero kapag ang bata natutong mabigay ng mabigay, hindi siya naiinggit. Generosity and kindness. Ano pa? Honesty. Honesty. Napakahalaga niyan, no? Do not teach your children to lie, nor show them how to lie. Alam nyo, you know that children can actually lie at 3 years old. And once they are able to understand what is true and what is not, encourage them to be honest at all times, even when no one is around. Okay? Kapag nagsinungaling ang bata, huwag niyong hayaan na manatili yan. I-correct mo kaagad na hindi dapat yon. According to Philippians chapter 4 verse 8, then what else? Patience and self-control. Patience and self-control. Alam nyo na yan, di ba? What else? Contentment. Huwag kang swapang. Huwag kang hingi na hingi. Maging kontento ka. Ang mga apo ko, pag pinapakain ko yan, I already had my breakfast, Papa. See? Hindi yung hingi na hingi. Ikaw naman, bigay ka ng bigay. Alright? Contentment. Nakalagay po, sabi ni Apostle Paul, we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And so, having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. Contentment. And of course, discipline your children. Pero kinakailangan maunawaan ng mga bata, why do you discipline him? Ang mga anak ko, papaluin ko yan, tulad ni Fog, ng bata pa siya. Pero pagkatapos kong paluin, papaliwanag ko, anak, alam mo ba, ba't kita pinalo? Hindi lamang, yun nga rito, pak, 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 tulog ka na. No, not that. Huwag natin gawin na discipline of children is synonymous to child abuse. Kaya nga, spare the rod and you spoil the child. Kaya nakikita nyo ang mga tao, wala pong buto yan sa kanilang puwet. Bakit? Sa pakete po pinapalo para matuto. According to Proverbs 29:15, the rod and reproof give wisdom. Meron pagkakataon, we correct, we reprove. Meron pagkakataon, we teach. Meron pagkakataon din, we use the rod. And of course, tayo mga magulang, be an example. Be an example. O meron tayong video na punurin nyo about this.
You may try to convince others that your child is the most well-mannered little person in the world. But if you make mistakes in their upbringing, they'll be noticeable in certain situations. Does your child trouble others? Does he or she always forget to say thank you? Is your kid telling family secrets to strangers? Then you should understand that the problem is not with your child. You should change your attitude first.
Sarap. Hindi pa ako nanghahapon na. Be an example. Kaya nga yung sabi, train up a child in the way he should go. When he gets old, he will not depart from it. Ang sabi ni Charles Spurgeon, train up a child in the way he should go, but be sure you go that way yourself. Di ba? Be sure you go that way yourself. Be an example of what you teach your children. Like prayer, like worship, like service. You should show them that you're praying. If you want them to pray. You should show them that you're reading the Bible. If you're reading your Bible. You should show them there's a limit to watching television. Hindi pwede yung do as I say. No. Dapat yung do as I do. Di ba? Huwag nating turuan ng mga bata natin na mag-accept ng bribes and punishment to encourage them to be good. Okay? So, ito yan. Again, in Proverbs 22:6, train up a child in the way he should go. When he gets old, he will not depart from it. Once again, my dear friends, so yun lang pag-uusapan natin. Salamat po sapagkat pinagtyagaan nyo kung panoorin ngayong gabi. Sana marami kayo nalutunan, mga kaibigan. May the Lord bless you as you sleep tonight. Oh, please, again like and share facebook.com/The BMA Chronicles. Follow me sa facebook.com/Benny Abante. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Benny M. Abante. And please, promote this. Tell them, meron tayong YouTube channel and then let them subscribe, okay? May the Lord bless you at matulog kayo na mahimbing ngayong gabi. God bless you. Bye-bye.